how do you build a culture that can sustain not only 26 years, but all this growth, which is wonderful,
Yeah.
but growth is its
Challenging.
own challenge,
M&A is challenging.
and M&A and integration, and I lost my favorite tech tool, and now I have a different role in this organization. So there's wonderful things, but there's real challenges in there. So how do you approach culture? That's because that's something that's so easy to get wrong.
Scientifically, culture is top-level leadership behavior at scale throughout an organization. This is why I'm telling you, you're the bottleneck as the founder, right? The way you behave is the way the entire team will behave. Your toxicity, your dysfunction, or your level of function will exist throughout the entire organization. The bar you hold yourself to will exist throughout the entire organization. The other thing is that, for me, culture is the space between what you celebrate, inspire, and motivate, and what you tolerate, right? So, and I love to lean towards what you inspire, motivate, and celebrate, right? Sometimes you have to deal with, we don't build a punitive culture around Nexus IT, right? We build a culture where people feel in abundance and flow, where they can do awesome work, right? But you have to set a clear bar. People have to know that, again, if you're going to be part of an elite team, this is what it requires, right? And the team expects you, your colleagues expect you to show up and have their backs and have the client's backs, and they expect to do the same, right? And that means that, everybody's got KPIs they're performing to, that they're reporting on every week. It's, one of our core values is absolute ownership. So you're given a role, you're given duty, you're given stewardship, and you're expected to show up and fulfill, right? And you're expected to report on that. You are, it's your ownership of your role to go to your manager every week in your one-on-one and say, okay, here's where I landed, right? This is what I did. And if I miss the mark, by a reasonable margin, then I'm going to have a game plan of what I'm going to do to correct it. That's absolute ownership. Not the manager saying, oh, here are your numbers last week, right? By the way, yeah, your tickets are getting really old, and you closed 70% of the tickets of the rest of the team. What's going on, right? Now, if you want to be part of this team, you show up, you're accountable, you report on your performance, you have a game plan to fix if you're not performing. And if that's not, the type of environment you want to be in, because we want people who want to win and, be successful with us. If that's not the type of environment you want to be in, then it's not the right fit for you here, right? So beyond that, it's, and I sound like I'm a whip cracker here, Damien, and that's not the truth. We value people. We have good relationships. We have fun. We celebrate a lot of things. We celebrate all these wins. We have quarterly, reconnect kind of retreats together. We have a lot of, culture support mechanisms. Our team's channels are hilarious, right? All the gifts and the banter and the stuff that goes on there, right? We have all hands meetings every month, and we celebrate things together. We toast together. We're winning together, and we're having a good time, right? And we support and celebrate the things that people do well. We have a core values shout out thread in our team's channel where, anytime that somebody displays a core value, one of our 7 core values, their colleagues can shout them out and say, hey, Johnny did a really good job at extraordinary client service and solutions. And this is why. Here's the story. Boom, 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 right? Every month those get entered into a drawing at our all hands meeting, and then the person who shouted out, so they, randomize a drawing. The person who shouted out and the person who was shouted out get a $100 gift certificate each, right? So we do things like that just to support, good behavior in the organization. Again, celebrate the good behavior so that, people know this is the way we're supposed to show up.